The Pilgrims are not the first English settlers to gain a foothold in the New World. Over a decade earlier, 105 men stepped ashore in Virginia. They had come to make their fortune, drawn by promises of land and gold. At first, the colonists find the land delightful, but Eden soon turns ugly. The land is swampy, the water nearly undrinkable. Disease takes them one after another. Proud English gentlemen who refuse to work the earth, they find themselves near starvation, despite gifts of food from local Indian tribes. They are reduced to stealing corn from the same Indians, who retaliate. Holding the Jamestown colony together is a remarkable man, skilled in battle, who believes he can tame both what he calls the wild savages and his reluctant fellow adventurers. His name is John Smith, and according to legend, a young Indian called Pocahontas will risk her life to save his. According to Smith's fanciful memoirs, he faces execution at the hands of Pocahontas' father, Chief Powhatan.
Having feasted me in their best barbarous manner, they dragged me to 2 great stones, and thereon laid my head, and being ready to beat out my brains, Pocahontas, the king's dearest daughter, got my head in her hands and laid her own upon mine to save me from death.
Smith abandons both Pocahontas and Jamestown soon after. Several years later, hoping to secure peace in this troubled land, Chief Powhatan gives his daughter in marriage to one of the other English settlers, John Rolfe. Through the Indians, Rolfe and other struggling colonists learn the secrets of tobacco. The savory leaf is a huge success in London, and soon the colonists are growing it everywhere, including the streets. Some years define a people and a land. On the 30th of July, 1619, 22 Englishmen walk into a small church. It is a day that marks the beginning of political liberty in America. The men are sworn in as members of the House of Burgesses, the first elected government in the colonies. As in England, only men can vote, and only men of property. But the seed of freedom has been planted in the fertile soil of the New World, and eventually it will grow into a revolution. Jamestown is on the verge of turning into a real community, but one crucial ingredient is still missing.
The initial group of settlers to Jamestown was overwhelmingly male, and this did not change to a great degree during the first several decades of settlement. So in 1619, the Virginia Company sent a ship with 90 eligible women to the colony. They were deliberately recruited from among the most respectable ranks of English society. The company hoped to improve the reputation of the colony, which didn't appear to be a very nice place for anybody to go to, and never mind a woman of perhaps some modest fortune or some good prospects of marriage.
Late that August in 1619, a Dutch ship sails into port with a terrible cargo. 20 African slaves, the first ever in North America, destined to labor in the fields of Virginia. Alongside freedom, a poisonous tradition takes root.